Welcome back to the Mom and Pop Video Shop. I am Joel.
And I'm Tyson.
And we are here today with a weekend rental recommendation video.
Basically what we're going for here is a throwback to the good old days where you would walk into the video store on a Friday night, not sure what you wanted to see, but you knew you wanted to see, say, something from the horror section. Mm-hmm. So you would go to your incredibly handsome clerks and say, hey.
Not us.
Well, speak for yourself. But you'd say, hey, I'm in the mood for a horror movie. What do you recommend?
Imagine, if you will, it's a Friday night. You're at the video store. Like he said, he already did the setup. And we are going to make a movie recommendation. But before we do that,
stick around to the end of the video because we may, depending on what our respective selections are, we might be able to come up with a special bonus recommendation for you. And we will tell you if any of these recommendations are available streaming anywhere online. We'll try to let you know where you can find those as well.
And just so we're clear on this too, the rules of this engagement are, it could be something we had in the collection in the store on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, as long as it's a physical media, Laserdisc, as long as it's physical media, and we will just assume that in this theoretical situation, you had the way of playing said media. That being said, my friend, would you like to kick it off with your movie pick?
First?
I think you should go first.
So, Tyson's recommendation from the horror
and I don't know what this is, by the way, legitimately, I have no idea.
Are you ready? It's kind of a big gun that I'm pulling out right off the bat.
I don't know if I want to see your big gun.
The Changeling.
Oh, dude, that's a good one.
George C. Scott.
Very nice. So do you want to tell them what that movie's about in case they don't know?
You know what?
I assume you do know.
I'm gonna channel my inner Peter.
Okay.
And I'm gonna read the description from the back of a VHS box.
Okay.
A superior haunted house thriller, according to Variety. Here is an award-winning feature that boldly mixes a frightful ghost story with a great suspense plot and keeps you guessing all the way. George C. Scott and Trish Vanderveer star in a thriller that challenges the viewer to solve its mystery. How much of this is actually, I guess it is mystery, but...
Yeah, there's a mystery to it.
It's a haunted house adventure complete with seances, nocturnal grave diggings, ghostly spirits, and an ancient puzzle jealously guarded by a devious man, Academy Award winner Melvin Douglas. Scott is splendid as the man who becomes an unwilling instrument of a ghost's revenge and learns to trust no one. Eerily entwining a detective story with the mystery of the supernatural, The Changeling delivers solid entertainment and a frightening good time.
It's a good pick. Not gonna lie. I would be full of it if I said it was a bad pick. It's a good pick.
I like different kinds of horror movies for different reasons. But I think for this one, this is genuinely like scare the shit out of me as a kid, creepy scenes.
Yes.
If old creepy antique wheelchairs get to you, we've got a little bit of that.
Yep.
There's I would say the seance scene in this, like rivals. The only other one I can think of that's even close to this creepy is The Others.
Yes.
Nicole Kidman, that had a creepy. So creepy ass seance scene.
I am your daughter.
Oh, you're mad. I am your daughter.
What have you done with my daughter?
Are you mad? I am your daughter.
It's a PG horror flick, right? I don't know if it says it on the box or not.
I think it is PG, yeah.
Because there's like nothing in this movie.
It's tonally, it's got that gothic feel.
Yes. George C. Scott's always.
And I found out that's actually it kind of bummed me out, but at least the exterior of that house that he rents is a set. It's not wasn't a real place.
Yeah.
But then there's parts of it, of the plot, that remind me a little bit even of The Ring.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing The Changeling as a kid and then watching The Ring later on. And even though that was based on a novel, there's
based on a remake of a Japanese film, Ringu.
Right, which was based on the novel.
That's true.
So but there's parts of the Changeling where
you have to correct each other. Like, well, actually, Tyson.
See, are we not the perfect mom and pop video shop geeks or what?
Yeah.
But point
there
is,
may be people that know more than us. I guarantee you there are. But we will totally get the vibe of the douchey.
Oh yeah,
know it all. Thinks
we
he
probably
knows
got
everything.
that more.
Yeah, probably.
But anyway, the Changeling. If you're looking for, again, we could even call this maybe a gateway horror film. The fact that there's
honestly though, I was going to show this to my kids a little while ago because it's a PG. But the more I thought about it, it's like this is the kind of movie that would give them nightmares.
Oh, it'll keep them up.
They watch other like way more gory, and it doesn't bother them.
Yeah.
This would bother them. Like my oldest doesn't want to watch The Ring because he knows it's going to just mess with his head.
And I said this, there's parts of this that very much remind me of the Ring, that kind of creepiness.
Yeah.
So look, The Changeling, doesn't hurt that George C. Scott is your lead in this. He's phenomenal.
Yep.
But creepy ass selection from the horror shelf.
Yes.
And again, if you're not ready for the gore or the slashers that we're inevitably going to get to on this channel, I think The Changeling is a good flick to start with. So that's my pick.
I think it's a good pick, but my pick is a personal favorite. I have covered it on other shows, but I felt like since this is our first official weekend rental recommendation segment, I had to cover this movie because it had such a instrumental shaping of me as a horror fan, even before I realized I was a big horror fan, because I was a super sensitive kid who used to get deeply disturbed by things. So my pick is Phenomena. Now, honestly, the one I wanted was the Creepers box.
Yeah.
Which I do not have, like the Creepers video box. That's the one I saw when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I do have, because I got this this release from Synapse. I don't know. I'm hoping this is showing up. This is the original, the box art that for a poster that came with the Synapse release, which, to your point about Changeling being a sort of gateway horror, more atmospheric, gothic, yeah, this is straight up Argento at his finest, gore fest.
At his shittiest.
Yeah,
too.
total. So just a quick little synopsis. I do not have the VHS cover, and honestly, I'm old, so this is very small font, and I will try to read it. The young Jennifer Corvino, played by Oscar-winning actress Jennifer Connelly from Labyrinth and Top Gun Maverick. Well, this is new enough that they even put Top Gun Maverick
Oh
on
yeah,
the
because I was
credits.
about to make a joke about it, but
Yeah,
they beat me to it.
Is sent to a private Swiss academy for girls, where a vicious killer is on the loose. Jennifer has the unique ability to telepathically communicate with insects, and an entomologist, Dr. John McGregor.
She talks to bugs.
Yeah, that's the fancy way of saying it. Played by Donald Pleasance. So Donald Pleasance enlists her help in locating the murderer. As the mystery unfolds, they find themselves in a bizarre murder plot with maggots, telepathic insects, and a razor-wielding chimpanzee.
Well, that would be the spoiler that I was trying to avoid, but I guess since it's on the back of
but
it.
I mean, it's on like a lot of the art too.
Oh, it is?
I think so.
Because that's my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
And I didn't
No,
see
that's not
when
really
I
a
first saw it, I
mystery.
didn't see it coming. You watch this batshit crazy movie for what, 90 minutes?
Yeah.
And then like the final scene happens, you're like, holy shit, it's a monkey with a straight razor.
I will say, the final question is the most important. Can Jennifer uncover the killer's identity before becoming a victim herself? I saw this for the first time, so it came out in 85, but it would have probably been released on video in the States, maybe late 85, early 86, so I'm like 9, 10-ish, like right in that ballpark. It had to be right around the time Critters came out that I was aware of it, because I remember going to a video store and seeing the box with that art I showed you earlier with her, their hand, and the bugs, and being freaked out by it. My cousin Chris, who was 5 years older than me, kind of like an older brother figure, massive horror fan, and he sort of introduced me to a lot of these early horror movies. The first time I saw Friday the 13th movie was with him. Fright Night he rented when it was a new rental. I remember that. And with this movie, because it was called Creepers, I thought he had said, I rented Critters. Want to go see that? And I knew enough.
Slightly different.
Slightly. And I was a huge
visual.
Gremlins fan, because I was 9, 10 years old, had seen Gremlins a couple years before this, and I must have heard somewhere about this movie called Critters. I was like, yes, I want to see Critters. Yeah, it wasn't Critters, it was Creepers, and it traumatized me. And I didn't see it again, and for the first time I think I watched it again was like 2017, 2018. Yeah. And I loved it. Like I always was like, this movie in pieces, which is a whole other story we'll go into later, I avoided for like 2 decades because they traumatized me as like a young child. So, but dude, I love this movie. This is probably my favorite Argento film. Not just because it holds a special place in my heart, because it's just, it's like all the Argento insanity times 10. Plus you get early Jennifer Connelly, you got Donald freaking Pleasance.
One of my favorite elements of this is the damn soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack is great.
You've got your standard Goblin set stuff, and then out of nowhere, like
metal, like
freaking Motorhead.
Yeah, 80s metal playing, and it's like,
and it's always in like the weirdest.
Yes, it doesn't. You're like,
places.
why is this playing now? Yet it works.
Yeah, I remember there's one specific scene where it's like after something has happened and the police are there and like the ambulance in the corner, and all of a sudden Motorhead kicks in and it's like, this absolutely does not belong in this scene,
but it works.
But it's the most metal thing I've ever seen in my life. So
it's
it
awesome.
Absolutely works.
So if you have not seen Phenomena, aka Creepers, the version that is called Creepers by most people is that American release from the 80s. And again, on this, if you can get this Synapse version, it is on here. They have 3 different, I believe. They have the Creepers version, the Italian version, and the international version. So there's all 3. And there's differences between them. So
we'll confirm this for sure, but I want to say, I just watched this within like the last 3 weeks. I just turned it, and I think I watched it on Tubi. I think Tubi's got
Okay.
Phenom.
All right. My pick for you is Phenomena. Tyson's pick.
The Changeling.
So you have to decide. So we teased at the beginning of the video that we would give you a third recommendation. We decided to challenge ourselves. You're watching us. We did not, even though there have been edits in this video, no doubt, we did not pause. You have to take my word for it. Believe me or don't, I don't care. And depending on how this plays out, it'll probably be very obvious that we didn't check beforehand. So we have not Googled, we have not IMDb'd. I did have IMDb up because we thought we might need to do it, but I'm like, you know what, let's just challenge ourselves. So we're gonna come up with a third recommendation based on what's in the stacks, as the kids used to call it, and we will tell you what movie has some weird connection, and it could be the most arbitrary connection, the most non sequitur connection possible between these two movies. But if there's a third movie, you're not in the mood for Changeling, you're not in the mood for Phenomena, you're in the mood for something maybe in between. So what is some commonality?
Well,
it's not an actor, because there's no actors that cross over. So
I was thinking the whole Kevin Bacon game. I mean, The Changeling has George C. Scott. You've got Donald Pleasance. Is there a
I immediately go to Great Escape, but then that's only George. That's only. I feel like there's somebody probably in that worked with George C. Scott at some point, but I can't other than for some reason Patton. I'm not thinking of any other George C. Scott things.
I loved him in The Hustler.
Yeah.
Did he work
with Jackie Gleason, Paul Newman,
Piper Laurie, who was
Carrie.
Carrie's mother?
Boom, Carrie. There's our third pick.
Brian De Palma.
Brian De Palma movie, which is he often did mysteries. Giallo. Oh, bro, what's up? And I'm not going to cut any of this, just so you know. We didn't just make that. I mean, we made it up. We didn't cheat.
That's how we work.
Because honestly, it's more fun that way. So, Phenomena,
The Changeling,
Carrie. Where go find it it's in the store somewhere. So go find it. Okay, so now one last segment. This one we will have to cheat for. We are going to tell you if this is available. Obviously, we've established the Synapse version of Phenomena. Go look it up. I'm pretty sure it was on Amazon. Obviously, Synapse, if you go to their website. I don't think it's sold out or anything. And there's other versions of it. This is just a really good one.
I can tell you that my copy of The Changeling I purchased at one Viper Video in Tampa.
Nice. Yeah, so definitely go to Viper Video. Not saying they'll have a copy of The Changeling, but they'll have a lot of other cool stuff there like VHS.
And I paid $5.
Yeah, not bad. So that one I'm sure is available on eBay. So according to the interwebs, and as we record this in late May of 2020, I almost said 19,
at the time of this recording.
At the time of this recording. The Changeling is available on Peacock, Shudder, Tubi, Plex, AMC Plus, which if you have AMC Plus, I think you get Shudder by default, Screambox, Peacock, and Vudu. So you got lots of options if you can't get the physical media version. Phenomena, it's on Amazon. You can subscribe through Shudder, Amazon, AMC Plus, as we've established, which you will also get Shudder by default. And I believe, actually, AMC does still have Shudder, right? Or weren't they getting rid of it? Now that I think about it.
I'm not sure. I've always had the Shudder app, so I've never done the AMC Plus thing.
Yeah, I did because of Walking Dead, which that's a whole other story. Or you can rent it or buy it through Amazon. It's like $3.99 rental. So definitely worth checking out.
Oh, heck yeah.
On that note, I guess we'll wrap up this first weekend rental recommendation video.
Are we gonna call a winner on this one? I think it's tough.
I think it's a tough one. I think it's on you. You have to decide. In the comments.
Comment below. What would be your pick?
Yeah. Would you pick Phenomena?
Or The Changeling?
Dun, 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 dun.
I can't think of any music that.
Changeling.
And George C. Scott does play a composer.
He does. He plays
the
music.
Changeling, so.
And Carrie, which was our third pick. Okay, well then on that note, thank you again for joining us here at the Mom and Pop Video Shop. And remember, at Mom and Pop's, our love of
American Ninja
never stops.
He is the only soldier.
Who is he?
Who is capable of defeating the secret Black Star Army. A soldier who has become a master ninja.
Your destiny, my son, awaits you.
The deadliest art of the Orient is now in the hands of an American. American Ninja.
Starts Friday, September 20th. Consult your local listing.